Parliament versus Supreme Court. Is this issue between Ghana's Parliament and Ghana's Supreme Court going to affect the 7th December election? Because as it stands now, there is fire. There is back-to-back. Parliament gives, Supreme Court give. And that is what we are going to look into, because the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Gbagban, has come out to respond to the Supreme Court after they rejected his appeal. Kindly do subscribe to the channel. Subscribe, press on the notification button, and don't forget to please follow us on all social media platforms. All right, so let me give you a scenario as to how all these issues came up. So recently, Ghana's Supreme Court dismissed Alban Gbagban's attempt to overturn its suspension of his decision of declaring 4 parliamentary seats vacant.
Not even the President and Vice President are exempt from obeying the orders of the Supreme Court when they are made to give effect to its duty to prevent a violation of the Constitution. Because of the irreparable harm to the constituencies made up of hundreds of thousands of Ghanaians who would have lost their MPs without the option of a by-election, and the irreparable harm to the MPs who would have lost their seats in Parliament in these last few weeks to the 7th December elections, if the meaning put on Article 97(1)(g) by the Speaker was enforced without a clear determination of the disputes around it, this court found it expedient to compel the parties to allow an early hearing rather than make an order that would last only 10 days. This is the reason for the Supreme Court's orders abridging the 14 days allowed for defending a constitutional action through a statement of case and directing the parties to file their respective statements of cases within 7 days and present the issues for resolution immediately thereafter. If the parties had complied with the court's orders, this would have taken all of the 10 days the applicant urges an ex parte order ought to last. Compliance would also have enabled this court to dispose of this case by this week, including the question of whether the suit is competent in form or the jurisdiction of this court has been properly invoked. It is important, and the question of whether the jurisdiction has been properly invoked is different from whether the jurisdiction exists. It's a different legal question. It is important to place on record that both the plaintiff and the Attorney General have complied with these orders, and this court is able to complete hearing of this suit if the Speaker chooses to file no processes. For the above reasons, the application is refused.
But you know, Alban Gbagban's appeal urged that judiciary are not supposed to interfere in parliamentary affairs. And the Supreme Court also stood on the fact that it's an election era. So Alban Gbagban should just allow them maintain their seat temporary, because if anything happens, the Supreme Court has to come in. That was it. And now, Speaker of Parliament has also come out to respond to the Supreme Court. Let's listen to him.
Run to the Supreme Court at the slightest opportunity to use the Supreme Court to undermine Parliament. This might be one of the reasons Parliament and members of Parliament are not respected and treated with disdain. This was exhibited by the President's refusal to even receive the LGBTQ+ bill, duly processed and passed by Parliament without any legal basis. The judiciary is supportive of this conduct by the receipt and processing of a suit on this subject matter. These are dangerous precedents in our democratic journey. Both the President and the judiciary have sinned against the Constitution and must seek the opportunity to confess and repent to be forgiven. am confident the battles we are fighting today will make our democracy stronger and more vibrant in the future. I believe in the supremacy of the Constitution. Mark my words, the supremacy of the Constitution, not the supremacy of the judiciary or Supreme Court. I also believe in a vibrant parliament that is respected and accorded its due on political questions.
So in this video, in his voice, he's saying that parliamentarians are not being loyal to parliament. They are not going according to the rules and regulations in parliament. But rather, any slightest opportunity they get, they will run to the Supreme Court. And according to him, the Supreme Court, the president have sinned and they have to come and apologize for them to be forgiven because this matter is hurt. It's very, very, very hurt. Because he's saying that president and the Supreme Court have sinned against the Constitution and that they need to be forgiven. They should come out and ask for forgiveness. Let's listen to this aspect of his speech also.
Fellow Ghanaians, I respectfully call on the Supreme Court to apply the same swiftness with which the motion ex parte in the Eastern matter was granted to the case involving the president's refusal to receive the Human Rights and Family Values Bill passed by Parliament, which has been pending before the same court for almost a year without being heard. Ladies and gentlemen, consistency is not just an ideal, but the foundation of life. The court cannot enjoin 4 members of parliament from serving their constituents for 12 weeks, but was very eager to deny the constituents of Asen North their representation because of the issue of allegiance. The court cannot deny the constituents of Sal the sanctity of representation for years. The court cannot even see that the Constitution itself permits a denial of representation within 3 months to the holding of a general election. It's in the Constitution. Ladies and gentlemen, the Parliament of Ghana shall commence sitting as by law prescribed from tomorrow.
So when the Supreme Court swiftly came in to tell him to hold on to his decision, that is in his voice, according to this video, he's saying that the Supreme Court should use that same swiftness, that same urgency to apply for the anti-LGBTQ issue that has been in court for so long. That is what he's saying. What do you also think about this? Let's continue the conversation under the comment section. My name is Sarah Tete. This is Authentic Plus TV. Kindly do subscribe, share, and like. And please don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms.